For over 40 years, a Japanese doctor cared for elderly patients in a village near Okinawa. Most of his patients were over 90, with incredibly sharp minds. When asked about the secret, he answered without hesitation, "Memory doesn't start to fail with age, it starts to fail at night, while you sleep." And this shocked those who heard it, but he was right. Recent studies show that poorly prepared sleep can accelerate memory loss, especially after age 60. Your brain depends on certain nighttime conditions to cleanse and protect itself. If those conditions don't occur due to bad habits, the buildup of toxins, inflammation, and failures in brain connections become inevitable. The good news, that same Japanese doctor taught 6 simple habits that block this process. Stay until the end, because one of these habits might already be part of your night, but in the wrong way. And this could be harming your memory without you even noticing. And at the end, I'll reveal a bonus tip that few people know about, but it can reverse this situation much faster than it seems. If you value real tips for you and the people you love to age with independence, click the subscribe button now. This channel delivers what no one tells you, but time will charge you for not knowing. And tell me in the comments where you're listening from, just so I know you're one of those who refuse to age passively. Habit 1. Sleeping with the lights on. An invisible enemy of your memory. If you're in the habit of leaving a light on in the room, whether it's a lamp, the TV, or even that little dim lamp just so you don't trip, know that this seemingly harmless habit might be sabotaging your brain's health every night. And we're not talking about poor sleep, we're talking about memory loss. Let's start with what science has already proven. A study from Northwestern University, published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, followed older adults who slept with some level of ambient light. The result? These people performed worse on memory tests, had a higher risk of hypertension, and greater insulin resistance, all just from sleeping in a slightly lit room. The reason? Light and the brain have a much deeper connection than previously imagined. Even with closed eyes, the retina remains sensitive to light, especially to blue light emitted by screens and LEDs. This exposure, even minimal, tricks the brain and reduces the release of melatonin, the hormone that not only regulates sleep, but also activates the brain's nighttime cleaning mechanisms, such as the glymphatic system. This system works like a natural cleaning service that happens while you sleep. It removes toxic proteins and cellular waste from the brain, including the dreaded beta amyloid, the same one that accumulates in people with Alzheimer's. If this cleaning doesn't happen efficiently, the brain starts to accumulate neurological garbage night after night. The consequence? Difficulty concentrating, forgetfulness, mental fatigue, and over time, progressive cognitive decline. Now imagine you make an effort to eat well, take supplements, do crossword puzzles, but you sleep with the room lit. To clean the house with the lights off, it may seem fine, but the dirt is still there. If you relate to this, comment below. Do you usually sleep with any light on? Tell me in the comments. I read everything. But the good news is that this habit is easy to fix. And unlike dietary changes or exercise, this one you can adjust today. Reduce or completely eliminate any source of light in your room. If that's difficult, use blackout curtains and invest in an amber or red light which has minimal impact on melatonin production. Avoid screens at least 60 minutes before bedtime, and if you need to use them, activate night mode on your devices. The ideal? Sleep in total darkness. Your brain was made for that. And when you provide the ideal environment, it responds with more clarity, more focus, more memory. But attention, this is only the first piece of the puzzle. The next habit may seem even more common, but it's one of the main causes of destroying deep sleep in seniors, and with that, deactivating the brain's regeneration mode. Habit 2. Sleeping on your back. Snoring, or with sleep apnea, do you wake up tired, even after sleeping for hours? Have you ever felt a dry mouth upon waking, or had that mental fog in the first hours of the day? These could be signs that something serious is happening during your night, and it's directly affecting your memory. And the cause may seem trivial at first glance. Snoring while sleeping on your back, or suffering from sleep apnea without realizing it. But this is far from just a minor nighttime annoyance. We're talking about a condition that can deprive your brain of oxygen repeatedly, every night, without you realizing, and silently speed up memory loss. The problem starts when lying on your back, gravity causes the base of the tongue to slide backward, partially blocking the airways. This increases the chance of snoring, macro-awakenings, and apnea episodes, those moments when breathing literally stops for a few seconds. And even though you start breathing again, the brain suffers. With each interruption, it enters an alert state, exits deep sleep, and loses an essential part of the mental cleaning that should be happening. According to the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, adults with untreated sleep apnea are up to 3 times more likely to develop cognitive decline and dementia. And the risk is even higher after 60, especially in men, people who are overweight, and those who snore frequently. But the most alarming part is that many don't even know they have the problem, because the person sleeps, snores, and wakes up thinking they just didn't sleep well. But in reality, the brain spent hours suffering, being awakened repeatedly without the conscious mind noticing. The result? Slow memory, difficulty focusing, fatigue throughout the day, and over time, accumulated neurological damage. And sleeping position plays a central role in this. Sleeping on your side, especially on the left side, helps keep the airways open and supports the function of the glymphatic system, the one responsible for cleaning the brain during sleep. In addition, it reduces lung compression and improves nighttime oxygenation. It may seem like a small detail, but this simple change improves sleep, protects the heart, reduces snoring, and even helps memory. Oh, and if you share a room with someone and that person has mentioned your snoring or breathing pauses, don't ignore it. It could be a serious warning. Apnea has treatment, and in mild cases, lifestyle changes like losing weight, avoiding alcohol at night, and sleeping on your side already make a huge difference. Now let me ask you, has anyone in your house ever woken up startled with shortness of breath or noticed very loud snoring? Tell me here in the comments. Your story might help other people recognize this silent problem. And if you think poor sleep only brings tiredness, the next habit will surprise you, because it involves a common mistake that many people make, thinking they're taking care of their health. But in reality, it's preventing the brain from entering deep sleep, the kind of sleep that rejuvenates the mind. Habit 3. Using the bed as a living room. Many people over 60 start turning their bedroom into a true entertainment center. TV on, phone in hand, tablet on the lap, radio playing, light on. The bed becomes a place for reading, chatting, scrolling through social media, and worrying. And when they finally lie down to sleep, the body may feel tired, but the mind stays on, restless, not knowing what to do. This is a more serious mistake than it seems. Using the bed for everything except sleeping confuses the brain, and that directly affects sleep quality, melatonin production, and the efficiency of the brain cleaning process that happens at night. The consequence? You wake up without a clear memory, have trouble focusing, take longer to think, and realize that simple day-to-day tasks feel heavier. Research published in Sleep Medicine Reviews shows that the association between bed and deep sleep is a neurobehavioral process. In other words, the brain needs to understand that lying in bed means resting, shutting down, beginning the mental regeneration process. But if it associates that space with stimulation, conversation, tension, or activity, it switches to alert mode and sabotages the start of deep sleep. It's like trying to teach a dog to lie down but yelling at it every time it does. The brain no longer understands the command. And when this repeats for weeks or months, it creates a conditioned response. You lie down, and the brain switches the mind on the result. Insomnia, frequent awakenings, shallow sleep, and over time, subtle memory loss that seems normal at first but accumulates over the years. Want to sleep better and protect your brain? Turn your bedroom into a temple of rest. Avoid watching TV or using your phone in bed. Reserve that space only for sleep, and, if possible, create a ritual. Turn off the lights, take deep breaths, prepare the environment. This teaches the brain that it's time to shut down, and over time, it responds faster and more deeply. And if you live with other people, talk to them about it. Explain that you're prioritizing your brain health and that the bedroom is no longer a place for excitement. These small decisions may seem simple, but they can protect your autonomy in the future. Now think with me. How many times have you lain down and spent almost an hour scrolling your phone without realizing how much time passed? That's not rest. It's disguised overload. Comment below if that's ever happened to you. Many people are going through the same thing without realizing how harmful it is. And the next habit goes even deeper. A lot of people believe it's calming and even healthy, but science has already shown it might be increasing the risk of stroke and dementia. In seniors, you need to know what it is, because you might be doing it every night without realizing the danger. Habit 4. Eating the wrong snack, thinking it helps you relax. Many people have the habit of having a snack before bed, thinking it helps calm the body, but this habit, when done the wrong way, could be affecting your memory night after night, even if it seems like something light and harmless. Saltine crackers, toast, white bread, porridge with sugar, or cereal that says sugar-free. All of that seems too light to cause any problems. But what few people know is that these foods spike blood glucose and mess with the balance the brain needs to enter deep sleep. And it's precisely during deep sleep that the brain does its cleanup. If this phase is interrupted by a spike in blood sugar, the brain can't properly organize what you experienced and learned the day before. And then the forgetfulness begins, where you put your keys, which medication you already took, whether or not you had scheduled that appointment. They're small lapses, but they get worse over time. A study published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology showed that high glycemic meals before bed increase the risk of arterial stiffness and circulation problems, and that directly affects the area of the brain responsible for memory. In other words, what you eat at night may seem light, but it's making it harder for your mind to regenerate. Ideally, avoid white flour, sugar, and heavily processed foods before sleeping. Choose plain, unsweetened yogurt, some nuts, a boiled egg, or even cooked green banana. These foods don't spike glucose and help your brain truly rest. Now tell me, do you usually eat something before bed? Have you noticed whether you wake up with a slower or foggier mind the next day? Write in the comments your experience may help others too. And if you take any medication at night, the next habit is even more important. Some people take the correct dose, but at the wrong time, and that might be affecting their memory without showing any clear signs at first. Habit 5. Forgetting to take nighttime medication or taking it at the wrong time. It may seem like a small detail, but the time you take certain medications makes all the difference for your memory. And when we're talking about seniors, who often already take ongoing medications for blood pressure, cholesterol, anxiety, or sleep, this detail becomes even more important. What few people know is that some medications only work properly when taken at the correct time. And this isn't just about the effectiveness of the drug, but about how it interacts with the brain during sleep. If you take it at the wrong time, or simply forget to take it, you may be causing mental confusion, difficulty remembering simple things, and even accelerating cognitive decline. A common example is medication for high blood pressure. Many seniors take it in the morning, but studies show that in some cases, taking it at night helps keep pressure under control during sleep, which reduces the risk of microbrain lesions and silent strokes, which also affect memory. When blood pressure isn't well controlled at night, blood flow to the brain may decrease, which harms oxygenation and the repair of nerve cells during deep sleep. Another frequent case is sleep or anxiety medication. If taken too late, it can interfere with REM sleep, which is essential for memory consolidation. If taken too early, the effect might wear off too soon and cause nighttime awakenings, fragmenting sleep and harming the brain's cleaning process. And what about pain medications? Many people go to bed with mild pain thinking I can handle it, but this causes the body and mind to stay on alert. And even while sleeping, the brain doesn't rest as it should. The next day, memory feels foggy, attention fails, and a sense of mental sluggishness appears right away. That's why it's ideal to have a well-defined nighttime routine. Know the name of the medication, why you take it, and especially the correct time to take it, according to your doctor's instructions. If you have doubts, write them down and bring them to your next appointment. Many doctors adjust medication times based on lifestyle and complaints related to memory and sleep. And if you take many medications, using a pill organizer with times separated by color or setting alarms can help a lot. Small changes in routine prevent major problems down the road. Now tell me, have you ever forgotten to take a medication at night or taken it at the wrong time, thinking it wouldn't make a difference? Share in the comments. This mistake is more common than it seems. And the next habit might sound silly, but it's one of the biggest obstacles to helping the brain organize itself overnight. It has to do with room temperature and how much it interferes with sleep quality and next day memory. Habit 6. Eating hidden sugar. Thinking you're eating healthy, many people over 60 have started cutting out table sugar. They've quit soda, avoid traditional sweets, and think they're on the right path. But what they don't realize is that they're still consuming high amounts of hidden sugar every day, and that may be directly harming their memory. You know that boxed juice labeled no added sugar? Or the ready-made tomato sauce? The supermarket whole wheat bread? The fit fruit-flavored yogurt? Or even those salt crackers that seem harmless? All of these products contain hidden sugars like maltodextrin, glucose syrup, concentrated fructose, or inverted sugar. The label disguises it, but the brain feels the impact. And why does this affect memory? Because excess sugar in the diet, even without the person realizing it, alters the brain's insulin sensitivity. and insulin is fundamental for signaling between neurons, in other words, for a memory to be formed, stored, and retrieved. When there is brain insulin resistance, the brain begins to behave as if it were starving, even with plenty of energy in the body. This state of metabolic confusion is one of the foundations of what scientists call type 3 Alzheimer's, a form of dementia directly linked to poor diet. Studies from the Mayo Clinic and Harvard Medical School show that high glycemic diets are associated with reduced volume in the hippocampus, which is the area of the brain responsible for memory formation. And the most dangerous part is that there are no clear symptoms at first. The person starts forgetting small details, like where they parked the car, what the conversation was about, or whether they already took their medication. Over time, these lapses grow. If you're going through this, the first step is to look at labels. If the ingredient list has more than 5 items and you don't recognize most of the names, be suspicious. Choose real foods, whole fruits, vegetables, meat, eggs, olive oil, nuts. The simpler the food, the less chance of hidden sabotage. And most importantly, don't fool yourself into thinking that just because you don't eat sweets, you're safe from sugar. What harms the most today are the sugars that sneak into your routine, disguised as healthy options. Which of these habits did you already do, thinking it was harmless? We're here to help you protect your mind and preserve your independence for many years. Taking care of your memory starts with simple but conscious choices. And before we finish, there's something important you still need to understand. Even if you follow all these nighttime habits to protect your memory, one mistake in what you eat before bed could be canceling everything and silently increasing your risk of a stroke. Watch this video to find out what might be sabotaging your health right now.